Michael, come on.
Good evening. First of all, everyone that's out tonight, thank you. It's a sign of support for cancer survivors, and I can tell you, as a cancer survivor, without your family, your friends, even my coworkers, the support system is critical for a cancer patient in their time of diagnosis, their treatment, and even afterwards. 'Cause even when you're in remission, there's still a lot of challenges that require a lot of support. And events like this really help patients that's had this terrible disease to just push through day to day. And it really is a blessing for us all to have, you know, a support system behind us, like Relay for Life and everything that goes on through the treatments. And real quick, I just want to share my story of what happened to me. 3 years ago, I started as a registered nurse at UAB, and luckily in school I was drawn into hematology oncology, which is cancer treatments. And at UAB, the floor I worked on, we're a specialty unit for leukemias, and mostly we treat acute leukemias, and that's a really severe cancer that once diagnosed, within 2 to 3 weeks, if you don't get treatment, usually it'll end up in death. And so you have to go in, and things are done so fast, there's no time to really process what's going on. So for 2 years I was a nurse on that floor. I got to treat a lot of patients with AML and ALL, and after that I transitioned into ICU nursing for 6 months, and at the end of it, 3 buddies of mine, we went January 2012 hiking in North Georgia, and we were hiking up a mountain, and the irony of it, it was called Blood Mountain. And when I was walking up it, I had a lot of issues going on that just shouldn't be happening. Like my heart rate was high, I was getting really fatigued, really tired. I just couldn't make the climb, and all the guys were in the same shape as I was, and I was like, what's going on? I feel like a pansy. Like, I invited these 2 guys on a hiking trip, and I'm the one that should be leading the way, and they're a half a mile ahead of me waiting on me. It's like, I'm sorry, y'all. And so I realized something was wrong, and I just wasn't sure on that trip. And a week later, I developed a cough that wouldn't go away. And finally I decided, I was like, I got to go to the doctor. And it was on leap day, February 29th. FYI, don't go to the doctor on that day, because apparently crazy things can happen. So they did some blood work, and I looked at it, and 2 years of being an oncology nurse and leukemia, I looked at it and said, this isn't good. My family was like saying, you know, it's going to be okay, it's probably just an infection, to reassure me, but I knew something was wrong deep down. And so we treated it for 2 weeks with antibiotics. It didn't work. The results came back even worse, so I just called a doctor that I worked with. He got me in the clinic. It was March 16th, 2012. Did my blood work in the morning, called me that afternoon at home, and he said, Clint, I'm sorry to tell you this. He said, it's not good. You have acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And he was reading all the results off to me. And it was really odd, because I didn't even realize it was me. I was just writing it down like the doctor had called me to give me a patient for report as a nurse. And he's telling me all this. He wanted me to come in immediately to, you know, watch my counts, and we could start treatment within the next 2 days, because I said how quickly that disease evolves. So that afternoon, it was just completely changed my family's life forever. Like, everyone was just completely shell-shocked. You know, here I am, 26 years old. I'm not young enough to not understand the concept of death. This is my specialty. This is the disease I treat. I understand the prognosis, the challenges ahead of me, and how grim of a diagnosis it is for a young adult with ALL. And there's just not a lot of treatments that work well for it. And I'm not old enough to look back on my life and say I've had a good life review. Like, I have grandkids, I've finished my degrees, I've had a fulfilling career. I didn't get to feel that self-actualized feeling, so it was a very, very scary moment for me. And so I went into the treatment. They put me on a study protocol, and it was 45 days long. The treatment works about 60% of the time in people like me. So I felt somewhat encouraged, like, it's not a bad chance. And at the end of that treatment, they did a biopsy that showed that the cancer did not respond fully to it. There was resistant cells, and I was an induction failure, and which has put me down in a really bad group for actually surviving. And it was very, very scary for me. They were putting me on, I had one more chance with the chemo protocol, salvage chemo, and it was just to induce remission. It wouldn't be a long-term survival for me. They were just hoping to get 4 months and find a bone marrow donor that would give me a new immune system, and they could eradicate all the cancer in my body. So I got that treatment, and for 4 weeks they were just searching a registry called Be the Match, and those 4 I would call it every week, and it was a very, very tough time because I didn't know if I was going to get a donor or not. And my disease required that I had a donor to survive, bottom line. And so those 4 weeks of not knowing was very, very torturous, scary. And I remember coming, I had to be in the hospital again for another 30 days. And it was situational depression set in. It was a very tough time. I'd see my fiance walk out the door and my family walk out the door, and you just wonder, when's the last time that you get to see your family or fiance? Am I going to make it or not? And it's very, very tough. But luckily, 4 weeks later, my coordinator for the transplant, she called me and said, we've got some potential matches. We're going to work everything up for you. You're in good shape. We think we got one. And they did. They found a lady. All I know right now about her is she's 30 years old. She lives somewhere from Maine to Miami. She's in the Eastern time zone. And hopefully, if she agrees to it, July 19th of the summer, we will get to meet each other for the first time. Haven't seen pictures or anything. They'll schedule a meeting somewhere, hopefully in Birmingham, and have an event and reveal each other to us, which I'm really excited about. So, but that's something. The theme of this has been fight back. This part of the portion, and I've realized the situations that you get put in. There will be tough things in life, especially if you get cancer, and you cannot give up. There's times that I wanted to give up. I was so sick. I was so tired. But with the support of everyone and my family and friends and my coworkers, those were the ones who treated me on the unit I went to. I was actually treated by the people I got to work with, which was a blessing for me. They kept pushing me daily, and without that, I don't think I would have made it. And there's so many of you that probably supported me that I haven't met yet. And I want to say thank you so much. The cards, the prayers, the money, it worked. There were so many situations in my treatment where I needed something, where there was a place to stay, or just finances for the extensive amount of money it costs to treat cancer. People that I didn't know was just giving money, notes, cards, etc. Y'all were beyond amazing, and most of it came from Chilton County because that's where I grew up, and so thank you guys so much for that. And one thing I've been doing to fight back against cancer itself is I'm not able to work right now, but I've been able to volunteer a lot of my time with an organization called Be the Match, and it's been advertised a few times during this event. And that is a organization that recruits on the front lines at events like this people that are willing to donate bone marrow. Because without that lady, if she didn't sign up, her match was so compatible and perfect for me and my disease. If she wouldn't have signed up, I feel pretty confident in saying that I wouldn't be on the stage right now getting to tell you my story and talk to you about what I've been through, because she saved my life, and I'm ever so grateful for Be the Match. And I've been working with them for the past 4 months now, putting on bone marrow drives to recruit individuals who are willing to sign up and say, hey, if my immune system can match someone with a blood disorder and save their life, I'm willing to do it. And that's what they do. You just sign up. It's a lot of people are scared about it. They think they take actual bone from you. Grey's Anatomy in Hollywood's done a great disservice in that and making it a dramatic scene, but it's really, really anticlimactic. It's like donating blood. All they do is put an IV in your arm and extract stem cells out and collect enough to donate to a cancer patient who needs it. And so I encourage you, if you're between the ages of 18 and 44, that's the criteria for donating. And we have a table set up over there with some posters that says "Be the Match." It's got a white cloth on it. And if you're just interested in information, I can explain more to you about it and tell you more about my story in detail as well over there. But I really encourage you, if you're thinking about it, it really is a great opportunity to give life to people and do something so altruistic and just good, just something redeemable for humanity, for everything that goes wrong we see in the news. It's just something good you can do for someone. And I really encourage you. I was signed up on it before I got cancer, and I wanted to donate so bad because I've seen so many patients not have a match and sit in that room and have to go through, a slow process of you understand what I'm getting at, and because they do not have a cure. And it's terrible as a nurse to see that, and I can't imagine it as a patient having to go through a situation as rough as that. So if you're interested, like I said, 18 to 44, I would love to talk to you more about donating. And thank you guys for all the support you give and the prayers. You really did get me through this, and I can't say thank you enough for all the support you've given, and I just thank God for all He's done through my treatments, because He really was a source of strength for me to really deliver me through a disease and a trying time such as this. So thank you, and thank you for your supporting cancer patients, and please keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, brother. Well, there comes that time. We don't like to use the word conclude. We don't like to use the word end, because it's not ending. There are so many great things that are going to be going on throughout